Hey y'all, it's Wallace from Midnight Sun Performance Horses, just hanging out with the goats, soaking up the sun on this kind of chilly fall day. It's actually Thanksgiving today, so that might be more winter. I don't know how the seasons overlap like that. But I wanted to go over right quick my unsuccessful attempt to sell Dream at the online auction. It did not go well. I even tried to do a let's share this on Facebook, get more views, and that didn't even go well. I only had like 11 or 12, a dozen people to share my post, and I offered a Starbucks card, and thank you, Paige, she won. And I didn't even do that right. I left off my friend Kara. So it didn't go well at all. I didn't end up selling the mare. I really wanted 10 for her. I was going to consider anything a little less, but of course the high bid was 4,500. A little lower, but I wanted to go over, if you're thinking about putting your horse in an online auction, I don't necessarily think it's bad. I think, I was surprised because looking at the sales results. So this is what I did to decide, I'm gonna come over here, why to put her in the auction. The first thing I did was I looked at past sales results, and not all the horses went for high, but all of the brood mares, I think the lowest brood mare I saw in the Beryl horse auctions was for 8,500, and she was open. And so, she was well-bred, an own daughter of Sunfrost, but there were also mares in foal that went for between 14 and 30,000. So, I was definitely skeptical about putting her in one, but those sales results helped me, like I said, there's a cat, to decide, yes, always need a cat, right, Key? To decide to put her in there. Also, the fees were pretty low. It was $200 to enter her, plus I would have to pay 8% of whatever I sold her for, 0%, or 8% of zero since I didn't sell her, so it was only $200, which is $200. I like $200. I could do a lot with $200, right, Key? But as far as auctions go, usually auctions it's $150 to maybe $500 just to enter a horse in an auction, and generally, this is really the only online auction I've seen. So most of the time you have to sales prep, get that horse looking pretty, and then haul it to Oklahoma, Texas, wherever the sale is, and that's gas, hotel, that's usually higher than the entry into the auction. So I figured $200, if it costs $200 and 8% seller, heck, I'd do it. Unfortunately, she didn't sell. So why didn't she sell? Why, of course everyone around me is like, oh yeah, she's worth 10. Yeah, she's worth more than that. Anyone I've asked has said that my price is good on her. Oh, she's young, she's pretty. So why hasn't she sold? Of course, none of those people are in the market for a broodmare. Frankly, the broodmare market seems pretty low. You have to have something specific that someone wants at that point, which I guess is all Beryl sales are what that comes down to. But there have also been a lot of sales recently. I was a little worried about that. There'd been, of course, they were all in-person sales as far as Copper Springs, Texas Best, Dynasty Breeders. There were a couple big sales lately. JB Quarter Horse, I think Triangle sale, and you've got the BFA coming up. So there's kind of a lot of sales in the fall for some reason. So that might have played into why I didn't get a lot of interest in her. Also, this is kind of new for Beryl horses. I think this was their second Beryl horse only online auction. They've sold Beryl horses through online auctions before, but it wasn't specifically a Beryl horse only. So that's a little bit of a new market for them. Cat, you're falling. Also, Niro, this is an own daughter of Niro, a younger own daughter of Niro, 2009. So she's only 9. She's had one foal. She'd gotten full easy, but De Niro's have a little bit of a reputation of being slow to mature, tough horses. Tough can be good and bad. So tough as in they work their butt off once they're on your team, but tough as far as getting through to them, which I think with her, I definitely agree. When we got her, she didn't really have any bonds with people. She was very standoffish, very skeptical. She was not on my team. She kind of was looking for reasons to be mad and to be uncomfortable, and she didn't want to work with me. She just was very standoffish. Of course, she's been here 2 years, 3 years, and that's changed. She maybe it's because we don't ride her anymore, but she loves us. She loves getting petted. She loves food. She's really sweet. She's easy. You know, she was not that way, but she is quirky, and that's definitely what they say about Beryl or De Niro horses. They're very quirky. For instance, when my vet came out to ultrasound her to check her in full before the auction, she didn't flinch. She didn't care to have alcohol sprayed on her, which most horses, you know, it's cold and it's end of October, so most horses they'll be surprised by it. She didn't flinch, didn't notice it, but when my vet touched her with her hand, she jumped, she spooked, which isn't bad, but it's quirky. It's like, why does that bother you? So she's unpredictable as far as what bothers her, but she's not dangerous or difficult, really. She's a little different, and I think they all are a little different from what I've heard. And being slow to mature, I've heard a lot of comments, about that. I've seen a lot of it play out, like, oh, we, futurity to her as a 5-year-old, or we held her back. We couldn't make the futurities on her. We only made the fall futurities, or stuff like that. But then you've got LK, she's a Pisa De Niro or whatever. I should have looked up her name before this, but she won the $100,000 slot race at the BFA, which is a big deal. That's their first money. It's a lot of pressure because it's for those of y'all that don't know, the futurities are limited to 4-year-olds. So you can enter a horse if you're going to futurity them as a 4-year-old December 1st of their 3-year-old year. This is BFA rules, Beryl Futurities of America. BFA is only 4-year-old futurities. There's a lot of 5-year-old futurities out there that aren't BFA that pay out a lot of money. Diamonds and Dirt. There's a lot of them that most of them are open to 4 and 5-year-olds. BFA is not. So first money race, high odds, as LK, she's a Pisa De Niro won the $100,000 race. That's as early as you can run one. That kind of debunks some of the slate to mature. Of course, there's always that outlander, but you've got, the horse that's winning the world right now, DM Sissy Heyday. She won I think she was a 5-year-old when she was future. She ran some 5-year-old money. Also, Shakeham's Heyday won. She was on the cover of Beryl Horse World or Beryl Horse News, winning a futurity. So they might be, quote, exceptions to the rule, but I don't think all of them are late to mature. But there is that stigma out there. There's also a stigma of them being buckers. Can't debunk that one. Everything I've read about, even the good ones, they tend to buck or get a little crazy. So maybe they take more time. And so if you're breeding, most of the time you want to get that horse out there winning money ASAP. So you're going to breed to the ones that mature a little earlier. Most people aren't breeding for rodeo horses or breeding for futurity horses that will turn into rodeo horses. So that could have been a reason that she didn't sell. She's in full to Shawnee Bug Leo, which I love. I've got one on the ground. I've got 2 mares in full to him. His owner Crystal's amazing to work with. She promotes the snot out of him, but he isn't Dash to Fame, Frenchman's Guy, Firewater Flit. He's outcross. He's a gorgeous red horse. He's not flashy. Of course, my 2018 baby by him is tons of chrome face, chrome legs. So that's pretty flashy, but he himself is not super flashy. He's just really solid built, but he's red. He's probably, if she was in foal to Dash to Fame or someone like that, maybe I would have sold her better. The risk and odds of getting a foal or mare in foal to Dash to Fame are high. So those are some reasons. Maybe she didn't sell. Bad timing. Clearly no one's interested. I think that foal's going to be a baller, so I don't know that I'm upset she didn't sell. I mean, I am, because I probably should get down on my herd, but I think her 19 baby is going to be amazing, so I'm not upset about not, having that foal born here and potentially keeping and futurity it. We'll just see how it goes. I do probably need to sell some horses in the near future. I don't know. It is, to me, looking at the market, usually the spring's a lot better to sell a horse. But, there's people out there that they're going to buy if they see a horse they like any time of the year. So, but those are my thoughts on online auction. Clearly, I need to get better at marketing and get out there better. Made several goofs. So if y'all have any suggestions, how do y'all get horses sold into good homes for good prices? How do y'all judge what a horse is worth? It's all so subjective. I see people selling horses for a lot of money, and I'm like, wow. I wouldn't have guessed that horse, that you could find someone to pay that much for that horse. But clearly, they're seeing something in it I'm not, or that horse has something in it that they really need at the time and they're willing to pay that price. So, have y'all done any auctions? I might do some actual haul to auctions next year. I don't know. I'll let y'all know how it goes. But suggestions, comments, critiques, let me know. Thanks, y'all.